Hey everyone, it's Owen here from OTech, and today I'll be unboxing the Asus Strix RX 470 4GB. So, this is basically the same as the Strix 570 since Asus basically used the same design. So basically just a rebrand with the new 570 chip instead of the 470. And I mean, they are kind of a new chip since they're more optimized, I guess, with it being later in the production status in the global foundry. So they kind of made some changes to the production method, and they do achieve higher clock speeds with the 500 series. But otherwise, the Strix 570 is basically the same thing as this. So you can use this unboxing as a reference to look at how a Strix RX 570 looks like in real life. So yeah, with that in mind, let's start with the unboxing. And as usual, let's take a look at the box itself. So it says here Strix in RGB lighting, of course, like an Aura thing. And look at that, they use Aura for their RGB lighting branding. Since this graphics card does support it, although it's just a tiny ROG logo on the top here. So you do get some RGB because everything's got to have RGB or it won't sell these days. And apparently you also get a World of Warship 15-day premium account coupon if you're into that. So on the back you also get all the extra nifty features that Asus packs. So their wing blade fans, their fan connect. So this is actually pretty cool since you can now control case fans with GPU temperature, which makes more sense since when you're gaming the GPU gets hot and the CPU doesn't really get hot. So if the temperature is controlled by the CPU, your GPU is just gonna cook itself inside the case. So, and they also have the Auto Extreme technology, which is basically making the graphics card's PCB automatically by using robots. So no hand soldering or anything. So everything is much neater. And they also showcase the RGB lighting over here. And they have a 3-year warranty. So yeah, let's take a look inside. So you're immediately greeted by foam and also some anti-static plastic bag. So I'm just going to pick up this card itself, and would you look at that? I've already taken apart the plastic bits off of it since I did the Indonesian unboxing first. So if you want to see the peeling off, although it's not that satisfying, I'll just overlay it over here. So yeah, first let's just take a look at the accessories first. So you get like a cable tie thing, Velcro strap from with the ROG logo, and you also get these color stickers that you're supposed to put on here if you want to. But given that it has RGB, you probably don't need that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the main accessories. And you also get some driver CDs, which you should always throw away and download the latest one from the AMD website. And also the speed setup guide, and also the coupon card, which I won't show you guys because I want to use it, even though how short that is, just 15 days. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. But anyways, let's take a look at the card itself. So you can see it has 2 fans on the front. So basically a basic dual fan cooler design for a graphics card. It's an open air design, so most of the heat is just gonna come out the side and the front and whatever, and kind of heat up the insides of your case, which isn't really a big deal as long as you have some good airflow inside your case. But this will be not ideal for bad airflow cases or small form factor cases where you want all the heat exhausted. Although this does have horizontal fins, which will make the heated air mostly go this way and to the back. So these vents on the I/O port will do some exhausting, just not too much considering the cooler design. And on the I/O you also get a display port, an HDMI port, and also dual DVIs. Although these are just digital DVI ports, so don't expect to be able to use a VGA monitor using just a simple adapter, since they don't carry analog signals anymore on new GPUs, and you shouldn't really be using a VGA monitor these days because they look so bad compared to digital ones, and they're so cheap now, the digital ones. So yeah, on the bottom you'll have the PCI Express slot as usual, covered in the Asus dust protection plastic thing. And on the back you can see how neat the PCB is. considering this is all made by robots and no human interventions for this card. So it's much neater than normal PCBs, where you'll usually have like sticking out of the VRMs huge pegs for the MOSFETs and also for the chokes. Well, on this one it's all completely smooth, and it's just a much nicer looking PCB and nicer to touch as well, so no sharp edges. And over here you can also see the fan header. So this is a 4-pin fan header, so you need to use a PWM fan to have it be controlled by the graphics card. It won't work with 3-pin fans because it only controls using PWM and not voltage control. So from this angle you could also see the heatsink itself. So yeah, it does extend all the way to nearly the end of the card. So it's pretty wide, but you can see that the heatsink is actually pretty thin, considering some RX 470 or 570 have bigger heatsinks. And it also has an underwhelming 2 heat pipe design, so it's not that great. But from my early testing, this is still okay, and it still does some decent overclocking as well. Even with the 6-pin, which is, everyone thinks it's a big deal, but it's not really. But I'm just thinking Asus uses 6-pin here instead of an 8-pin, which is kind of ridiculous since they also have the 8-pin solder spots. But I think they use that just so that it seems like it's a lower power card, and so that it is more compatible with older systems, I guess, with the crappier power supply that doesn't have an 8-pin, although that's also kind of rare. So yeah, you can see the big gap from the heatsink. It's not really a maximized heatsink design, which other heatsink design will have the heatsinks produced in a way that it is kind of protruding on the empty spaces and just having spaces for exactly the capacitors and stuff. So this is just a simple heatsink design that Asus have used. And this is the RGB logo on top, and you can see the Strix branding over here, although you can't really see it except for like in the correct angle, since it's just a kind of a molded piece on the plastic. So yeah, these are the wing blade fans. As you can see, it has those wingtips at the end. And in aircraft they also have wingtips, and they're supposed to reduce turbulence on the ends. So maybe it does work, maybe it does do something, but who knows, it's just Asus's claim. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this graphics card. I'm not sure what else to say about it. You can take a look by yourself if you like it. Oh, and I guess I can say about the memory cooling, which is basically non-existent on this card. They don't use any type of heatsink or heat spreader. It's just basically relying on the air generated by the fans, which is, it's not ideal, but it's not a big deal since memory chips don't really get that hot. And you also get just a tiny heatsink for the VRM, which is a 4-phase. It's still okay for a 470, but it's kind of underwhelming considering this is Asus's highest end RX 470/570. But it's still usable, and it has a tiny heatsink, and it's ideal if it connects to the main heatsink, but I guess it works. So and I guess they gotta make some compromises to hit the lower price point of this card. But yeah, I know the specs are just like the usual 470/570 specs. As you can see over here, with 2048 cores, 256-bit memory bus like usual. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this unboxing. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please leave a like, and please click subscribe to see more of my future videos. Thanks for watching.